Ministry podcast, where 3 of the OKS youth ministers talk about youth ministry. I'm Michael Deese, and I'm joined with Hunter and Jeremy. And that's all.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Got him with a mute.
You never remember the mute buttons.
That's weird. Let me ask you a
I
question.
even stare at the mute buttons so he'll know to hit them and he forgets.
Did we ever discuss that time that Michael said that he was no longer an Auburn fan but was cheering for Alabama?
No, but I remember that.
You remember that? Posted on Facebook.
Yeah, I do remember that. Some guy that I hate did it.
I was just wondering if that was going to have to happen again because we are recording 2 episodes in one day. So Michael is still fresh off of his beach trip, still jacked up on some Mountain Dew. But we're glad to be here. We're trying to miss less weeks. Something's happening next week. I forgot what it was.
Jeremy's doing something.
Oh, Jeremy's gone next week.
Yeah.
So
He's probably selling another house.
I wish I was. Man.
Another 80 of them.
But
We're continuing our series on, I forgot what we're calling it, Mythbusters.
Yeah, man.
What's it about, Michael?
Hey, when we hit 2 in a row, it's tough. So what's it about, Michael?
I haven't looked at the show notes yet.
My life. Oh, my life.
Michael, what's wrong?
Everything's wrong. The stress of my modern office has caused me to go into a depression.
Depression? Isn't that just a fancy word for feeling bummed out?
Good youth ministers never get tired or burn out. Or do they?
How often a week do y'all contemplate quitting your job?
Every day.
I would not say it's weekly, but I've been at Coleman 10 years. Absolutely, there's been moments where I've been like, forget this, because you get frustrated, you get hurt or upset or whatever.
Yeah, maybe not weekly. I'd say maybe once a year or so. I really consider it. But I'm very blessed where I'm at. I love the job. I absolutely love being a youth minister. I don't know what I would do outside of that. I'm not really qualified to do anything outside of that. But it does get tough. And what we have to understand is everyone goes through these feelings.
Yeah. I think it's important that... Go ahead.
I would say we're not alone in these feelings. And that's what we have to understand is though you might be your youth minister and you might be somewhere farther off, maybe you don't really have a group to be connected to, kind of like we do here in the Decatur area. You feel like you're isolated, you feel like you're alone, and understanding that you're not the only one is a big push for you as well.
I think one of the big things that plays in, I've been on both sides of this, and one of the things that really plays into it is if I know that I'm being supported and encouraged, then I can usually I'm usually going to be fine. When I am being encouraged and I'm being supported and I feel like I'm being encouraged and supported, it becomes a very easy job for me. You know, when I have a parent who comes up to me right before I go to the beach and he says, "Hey, didn't you say that you need your brakes changed in your car?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it when I get back." He said, "Just drop it off at my house. I'll take care of it."
Yeah.
I mean, when, you have somebody like that. When you come to worship service, or we had our ministers retreat this past week at the beach, and
is that what y'all are calling it?
That's right. One of the elders texted me and
classic.
just said, "Hey, I just want you to know that you are really appreciated, and we love you, and we're so glad that you're here." Mm-hmm. And I didn't say anything about that, and he just said, I said, "Thank you so much." As we were about to leave, I was like, "Thank you so much for letting us come. This was great. We had a great time. And I feel like we're going to, do a lot of great stuff." And he just said, "I just want you to know, we love you and we're proud of you. We're glad that you're here." And getting that kind of support makes me come back and I'm ready to go, after being shown that kind of support. Or when you have a parent who says, "Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for our kids." And even last night, I had somebody that stopped me and he just said, "Hey, I just want you to know, me and my wife were sitting in the chairs and we were watching kids come in and we were counting how many of them that we didn't know." And they were like, and it's not because, we don't recognize them. That's what it is. It's not that we don't know them. It's that we don't even know where these kids came from. Like their parents aren't here. And they said, we just sat back and counted. And we're just blown away. You're doing a great job, that kind of stuff. When that kind of stuff is being said to you, and you're getting that kind of encouragement, it makes everything so much easier, you know. And I think back
even the frustrating parts of your job get easier.
Yeah, and I think back to when I was burned out, when I had reached that level, and what made that happen was I wasn't getting any kind of encouragement,
support.
I wasn't getting any kind of support, and at one point I started to go get that letter, but I did not. But I was written a letter that said somebody had come to me and talked to me, and I was just like, man, I'm kind of feeling burned out. Like I said, I'm overdone. I've done too much in too little time, and I'm just so stressed out, and I'm anxious. I'm depressed, and I'm trying to figure all this stuff out because it's all new stuff to me. And I met with a few people about that, and I got a letter in the mail from one of those guys that just said, it really hurt me when you told us that you didn't enjoy doing what you're doing, and I thought that you would enjoy it. And then he said, he quoted a Bible verse, and I looked it up, and I don't know what the exact quote was, but it was basically, you'll never grow tired doing something you love. And it wasn't signed by the person that wrote the letter, but it was still given to me. It was written on a postcard, and I know who gave it to me, but they didn't even have the gall to sign it, after they wrote all that. And after I had been so transparent with them, sharing, all this to them, and then that was their response. Not needless to say, about 2 weeks after that, I left that church. But I had gotten to a point where I needed somebody to talk to, and I found somebody that I thought I could trust, and they
belittled your
yeah, and it's because I wasn't getting any kind of support. There was nobody that was really supporting me in that moment, or at least I didn't feel like they were. They probably were, but I just didn't feel like they were. And so to think this good youth ministers never get tired or burned out or anything, that is a complete myth.
That's a lie.
It is a lie. You are going to get tired and you are going to get burned out at some point. And if you haven't, then you're a better youth minister than I am.
You're more than okay.
Yeah, more than you do not need to be listening to this.
There's nothing that we can help you with.
Think of your job. I mean, it's a 24. And we joke about it. Everybody jokes like, "Oh, you only work on Sundays and Wednesdays." But like, it's a 24/7 job. The amount of texts that you get at midnight that you have to wake up to and respond to, and the amount of lock-ins, though we try our best not to do those. I mean, just everything that you just pour out all of your energy all the time into everything that you do, and no one's really there to help you out in these situations. And I think all three of us are very blessed to be at churches that are big supporters of us.
Yeah.
And we get those comments a lot, and it really does help. But for a lot of our listeners, they don't really have a support team. They don't really have a support group. And we're feeling like we're all alone because not many people understand our job. Not many people understand the hours that we work. Not many people understand the seriousness of the way that we treat the teens' spiritual life and the spiritual walk.
And ministry is not just a job, when you are not being encouraged in your job, you can just grind through it, whatever. But when you're not being encouraged, it feels like it's an attack on not just what you do, but who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I define so much of who I am as being someone who does ministry.
Sure.
I am a person, and it's a little bit deeper than
it's integral to who you are.
Yeah, that's who I am. It doesn't matter what job I'm doing. I'm still going to be doing youth ministry. Even if I become some hotshot realtor.
Shut up.
I'm still going to be doing youth ministry, just like Jeremy. Even though I make more money selling houses.
Shut up.
I'm still.
I'm
still going to be like Jeremy and still do youth ministry, even though I don't need it anymore. Well, I don't need the income.
Well, speaking for all three of us, we love youth ministry.
That is not the current case for me. Just so that any elder of ours that might listen, it is not the case. I still need an income.
But you love the job, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And that's something I've said to Jessica before. If I ever got to a place where I didn't need the youth ministry income, I think I would, like if I was doing a different kind of job, I think I would still have a passion or desire to be a really good volunteer, serving in a ministry in some way. Because
would you say you'd be the next Patrick Caffey?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could ever get to that.
You'll never,
junior.
But I really would. It would be such a blessing to me to one day be in that position, right? Or if something changed with my role at church and I was doing a different ministry role, I would still want to have some kind of part of me that serves and supports the youth minister at a place, because it matters so much to prevent these kind of burnout situations, to have that kind of support and love and care from a good volunteer. I will say, I think sometimes the thought is that we're not burnt out because we're always high energy or that we're always on, if that makes sense. Most youth ministers that are, perceived as good at their job, whether they're good at it or not, are high energy or extroverted or outgoing, or they're always engaging the students and they're fun and exciting. And notice I didn't say cool, because they're not all cool, but they're exciting.
True.
I think that
Amen.
when you have those moments where you're not matching that energy level, you can be perceived as, that you're tired or burnout or whatever. And the reality is you can't always be at that level.
Right.
An example for me is last Wednesday night. It was Wednesday morning, early in the hours of the morning. My aunt Sherry passed away, and I texted you guys about that and let you know. And I kind of went through the day, and I was preparing for a funeral because I was going to speak at the funeral on Saturday, and so I came into class on Wednesday night, and I was just a little down. And Patrick actually noticed that, right? Patrick kind of recognized something was different about my energy or whatever. And so I mentioned something about it, told him, I said, yeah, just going through that. And I said, we just let the kids know, we told Lincoln and Elliot what happened. And I said, it's just a tough evening, right? Didn't mean I wasn't going to be present and do my job and be engaging with the class that I was teaching. But, sometimes your energy's down. Sometimes your vibe is different than from one week to the next. And it's okay that happens. I think we have this misconception that youth ministers can never have those kind of moments, or else they're doing a bad job. And that's not true at all.
Yeah. If you do feel like you're alone in this, that you're the only person who's burned out, or the only person that's kind of feeling down about stuff, I'm just letting you know, Fuller Youth Institute put out some stuff in about, what year was it? 2018?
Yeah, around that. 2018,
I think. That stated that 70%, 70, not 17, 70% of youth leaders considered quitting due to exhaustion. Not they're just kind of bummed out but exhaustion, meaning they have worked themselves to a point of collapse.
What year was that?
I think it's 2018.
Is that the most recent data we could get?
Yes.
It was.
The old callback, Carl.
Yeah, just bring it back to the beginning.
So you are not alone in this. 70% of your coworkers have experienced exactly what you're going through right now. And chances are they can probably help you get it. It's hard to be always available, endlessly energetic, and be able to do the output that we do on a regular basis, including all the social media things and all that. It's hard to do all of those things and keep up with all those things all at once.
Yeah.
It's tough when you feel guilt or shame about being tired, and there's a reason why the average youth minister works 18 to 24 months and then leaves the church that they've been working at.
Or either goes to a new place or switches to a different role, because they're spent and they feel unsupported in that.
And then in most cases, youth ministers are underpaid and overworked, and so that even plays even more into it, because then you're stressed about how much you're being paid and how you're going to pay for your rent and your groceries and all of those things on top of everything else. And so it can get really stressful. And we're here to tell you that everything's okay. We're going to try and help you through this.
Hey, let me offer some perspective for just a second. I know we're just the okayest, but we're trying to look like who? Jesus. By the way, Jesus took moments where he rested, where he went away. He took time alone. He took time to pray, to talk to God, to kind of work through whatever he was going through before he went back to the mass crowd, where he was having to be back at that level of expectation that the crowd had for him. He took moments to rest.
Yeah.
And we're
he
not better
also-
than that, by the way.
No.
I don't expect you to be better than Jesus.
But he
Well-
also didn't have guilt and shame for being away from the mass crowds either.
You might
like
not
he
expect
he
that.
knew that was needed for his ministry. He
Yes.
he wasn't sitting there away from them going, "Oh man, like I need to get back. That's way more important."
Yeah.
He knew that he needed time to rest, to recover, to refill in order to go back and teach and do his thing too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something recently. This is something I really, really respect in my coworker, Steve. He was going through something that was a challenge for him, that just an emotional kind of situation that he was working through. And I'm not going to go into all the detail of that, but he took a time, he talked to the elders about it. He said, "Hey, I need to take a little time to kind of navigate or work through this situation that I'm navigating." And he went to stayed at a friend's house, like up in the mountains, went and kind of did like a short little sabbatical thing where he did some writing and some reading and just took some time to address that, and not being afraid to ask the elders for that, or not being guilty of saying, "Oh, I got to get back," or people are going to be wondering why I'm not at the building, or why I'm not in town. He actually gave himself that space to rest where needed, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
To see someone kind of recognize that. So,
I'm gonna give Michael a shout out. Did we cut it out in the beginning of the podcast about the random person who hacked your Facebook? Did we cut that out?
I don't think we cut that
All right.
out.
So in the beginning of the episode, we talked about someone, I don't know who it was, Punk. Someone got on Michael's Facebook and made a false
It was
Facebook
a real
post.
jerk.
A real jerk move. And the person is terribly sorry about it. But at the
I
same
hope
time,
he skins his knee
I hope he doesn't.
doing a triathlon.
paper cut. I hope he gets a paper cut.
I hope he skins his knee doing a triathlon. Looks like a fool.
I hope he doesn't, because he did something wrong at that point. Anyways, but I also wanted to commend him too, because he was gone, and I think he was in Arkansas at the time, but he didn't take his laptop. And to me, that's super cool, because he's able to truly disconnect from work and spend time with his family. Not worried about the things going on at work, not worried about the things that need to happen. We're not worried about those things. But you're able to stop, you're able to breathe, you're able to spend time with your family, and you're able to kind of just disconnect from the work for however long you're gone in order to come back refreshed, refocused, and ready to go. So that's always encouraging, unless he just left on accident and just didn't worry about it.
Well, and that's something we've talked about before. Michael and I talked about when we were planning a trip to go to Disney. He said that something he loves to do is whatever it's called, the photo pass thing, where they take pictures for you and they send them to a link and all that. What he loves about it is, he said, I can leave my phone in the hotel room.
My phone,
the
my
whole
wallet,
day.
my watch, everything.
Because-
just sits
What
in
do
the
you pay
hotel room.
with?
It's
You have a
connected
little
to your little
bracelet.
bracelet thing.
Oh.
Disney's got that
I was
figured
like,
out.
how do you get your turkey
Listen,
leg
if there's
if you have
anything
no
Mickey
wallet?
Mouse knows, it's how to make money. Okay, Mickey knows how to make some money. He ain't gonna let you get away with not paying.
Think
But-
about the hassle of having to reach into your pocket, get out your wallet, take out your card, put it into the thing, push all the buttons, and then take it out.
and riding
Think
the
about
roller
how
coasters,
much-
making sure stuff don't fall out of your pockets.
I'm just trying to eat a turkey leg.
to pay for, like, you go to get the hey, I'll have a turkey leg. This that'll be $18, and then you have
Scan
to
your watch.
you have to give them your card, and then you have to sign things, or you have
Yeah.
to put it in buttons and all that stuff. What you do at Disney is just say that'll be $18, and you just go beep, and then you're done.
Yeah, my
give you-
wife
they
pays. I don't-
and you just move on.
She
That's all
grabs
you
the
do. You have a
turkey
little
leg.
bracelet, and they hold this little thing, and you just go beep, and that's it.
Yeah, I
It
have
takes
the
that long.
bracelet. I just didn't know you do that. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool. I'm
It's
gonna start doing that.
incredible.
Yeah.
So I just leave everything at the hotel.
Yeah.
And
But
then
but that's
we-
a cool thing, because he
Yeah.
can disconnect from the junk that's happening back home. And here's the thing, you absolutely are gonna miss something, right? Something's gonna happen that you didn't know about in the life of the church, or somebody, some kid's gonna want to ask you something or whatever. And it's and that's a little bit scary, because I'm not going to be on, or I'm not going to be present, or I'm not going to respond. But you're giving yourself space, just like Jesus did, to take a moment to rest, to be with your family, to relax, and to reset. So
Well, and
that
you're
when
not
you,
saying
when you can
that-
get back,
Yeah.
you can be fully present and on.
And you're not saying that you're just leaving everybody high and dry.
No.
You've probably
You
made
prepare.
most likely you've made a plan. You have somebody else in place that if something does happen, they can handle those situations in your absence as well. So there is some planning that goes along with that. So let's kind of move on to signs and causes of burnout. What are we seeing within this? Common signs. We see the emotional side of it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a handful of that, and for me, it's changed a little bit too. Now Brooklyn's she's about to be 4 here soon. We're about to have another one at the beginning of May. But trying to deal with family and youth ministry is something new to me. And I explain to the parents that every year, like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. Like, I'm still figuring out, one, I'm figuring out how to be a dad. Two, I'm figuring out how to juggle being a dad and being a youth minister. So there's going to be less of me here, less of me there, but there's going to be more of me in other places. So kind of doing with that, but then that is an emotional side. Times where, we get done with something and I'm having to go back up to the church to have some youth event, and Brooklyn's wanted me to hang out at the house. Things on those lines. So I do see the emotional side of it as well. Do y'all have, Jeremy, I know Lincoln's in the youth group, Elliot's not. So is there an emotional toll with that of you're kind of being spread thin with one kid versus another?
Yeah. Well, I will say it's a little easier in the fact that I'm with one of my kids now instead of I'm going away and leaving my family for a period of time and then coming back later. For me though, the cynicism stuff, like, struggling with, like, when I get frustrated about something that I feel like somebody should have done differently, or somebody should have done better, or somebody shouldn't have done this or that. And not just me, but it's hard for my wife when things go negatively with a relationship with somebody at church. And y'all know this. Somebody says something stupid or hateful about you or belittling of your work or whatever, and it happens. Even in a place where you're loved and supported, which I absolutely am at Coleman, in the last 10 years, there's absolutely been moments where somebody said something stupid. And then my wife has all this resentment or frustration, and she feels a sense of detachment from church because of the emotional pain that has been caused to me, that she's kind of transferring onto herself as well.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing. And that does cause some burnout because in those moments you think, I wouldn't deal with this junk at a different job, right? If I was just, a person that clocks in and out of the factory, I don't have to come home
realtor.
I don't have to come home with all this emotion and frustration with this, right?
Yeah.
So, it's just it absolutely is a part of it.
And I'll be honest with you. There was a point where, man, I have always had sleep apnea. Even when I was in high school, I've snored and all that stuff. And a few years ago, I guess it was like 3 years ago now, I went to a sleep doctor and did all the studies and got all the treatments and all the therapies and all that stuff. And now I'll just tell you, like, when I get 4 hours of sleep, and I'm not exaggerating this at all, when I get 4 hours of sleep, I wake up feeling more rested than I ever have in my life, which is weird.
I think I need to go do that.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I could use 4 hours.
And
right
so,
now.
Guys, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Physically. Go to the doctor and tell them, hey, I don't know, I haven't been sleeping very well. When I wake up, I have a headache, or when I wake up, I'm, and that was my whole life. I woke up having a headache, and I didn't feel like I had ever gone to sleep. I'd fall asleep during classes and stuff at school, and it wasn't because I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was getting enough sleep. I just wasn't sleeping good. Or if you have, just underlying things that are causing you to feel fatigue or whatever it is, go to the doctor and get that taken care of, because you're going to be a better person for it, And so it has definitely 100% helped me. Last night I got, 5 or 6 hours of sleep, and I feel great. Legitimately, I feel great. And that's just how I do things now. It's not, and the kids really appreciate not having to sleep in a cabin while I'm snoring.
Oh, that was the best. We got was ICYC that year, and everyone wanted to be in Michael's cabin.
Oh yeah.
And the next morning, I see everybody
Nobody
grabbing their
wanted to be
pillows
in
and sleep.
Michael's
Like, where y'all going? Like,
like,
oh, we can't sleep
anywhere
with
else.
Michael. Like, we can't do that.
The cabin was full the first night. The second night, I think that was Jeremy.
Yeah. Well,
Jeremy's stuck in there.
but I bring it myself, so I probably ran them onto another cabin.
Well, too, I've noticed this. I guess the younger of us three, the older you get,
Wow.
not by much, but the older you get, your metabolism slows down, and Mountain Dew and pizza doesn't add up to be great things in the long run. So you also have to be very conscious about that as well.
Yeah,
be careful.
I agree.
Things on those lines. You need to really take care of yourself. And then spiritually, the spiritual side, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. You can have a dry spiritual side. You can start doubting your calling to ministry. I always tell people there's a difference between you studying for your personal studies and you studying because you have to get ready for a Bible class. Those are two very separate things. You're going to grow more spiritually when you have your own personal study versus you're only studying for the Bible classes on Sunday mornings or Wednesday nights or whatever's happening around you. So making sure that you're spiritually feeding yourself as well as feeding the teens.
Dude, I yesterday in Justin's sermon, he sparked a memory that I had that when I was in college, I heard about like Polycarp and Ignatius. You know who those guys are?
Yeah,
I heard
familiar.
about those guys, and they were like, and they wrote these books and stuff, and they did this stuff and wrote these letters. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. I'd really like to read those. When I was in college, they didn't have those readily available on things that I was able to
They are
get.
now.
They are very available. And so I stayed up late last night, like reading Polycarp's letter to the church in Philippi, and was just like, this is so cool, because he's quoting all these same people that I quote. And he died in like year 144, so like, it's just cool. And I read Ignatius' letters, and just a really cool thing to see these Christians who, Polycarp he knew John the Apostle, like, John the Revelator, the guy who wrote the book of John.
He saw Jerusalem coming down.
He saw Jerusalem coming down. I think it was
And
John.
when he looked around, he saw feet like brass, eyes like fire, heard a great voice saying, "Come up high."
John the Revelator.
He wrote about the city of God.
All right. What about relational?
John the Revelator.
All right, moving on. That was good.
Thanks. I've practiced that a lot.
I've sang that a lot. There you go.
But youth ministry in particular, it's when you start feeling that way. I mean, think about all of the things that we do. Okay, we have irregular hours. We are dealing with emotional people. How many people have you counseled or helped who are dealing with a suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideology, or even that are suicidal? Every 6 months, how many people are you talking about? The only people that are talking about that more often than you are fully licensed counselors who are prepared for it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
That's what I was say. We're also handling a lot of things that we aren't really truly prepared for.
Right.
In a licensed clinical way.
Yeah. And then on top of all of those things, you've got family. Some of y'all have wives, some of you kids, some of you have kids that are older, some of you have kids that are younger, some of you. All of those things play into these things. On top of you going to camp and being gone from your wife for a week.
Yeah.
And your kids for a week, and your
we're
kids.
we're due early May, and then
your-
I will be leaving at the end of May for a week of camp. At
Yes.
Maywood.
That's going to go great
Yeah.
for you.
It's going to be great.
And then your daughter, right before you go to that camp, she comes up to you and gives you a hug and says,
Daddy,
"Dad,
I don't want you to go."
Don't go to work today."
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
That hurts.
Those kind of things. They're all things that are going to play into your mental health psyche. Then we have our personal things, the things that we keep internal, where we are a yes man. We say yes to everything. Yes, yes, yes. Everything that we say yes to, we're saying no to something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so being a perfectionist, whenever I do something for a t-shirt or graphic design, it has to be perfect. And I spend all day putting a line in a shirt or something because it's not perfectly straight or whatever. And so those kinds of things that we keep internal, and then whenever it comes out, it says youth group twice on the shirt.
I remember that one.
And you get frustrated about it, and then everybody makes fun of you because you put youth group on a t-shirt instead of just one youth group. And so,
Well, it was multiple youth groups at the retreat, though.
That's
so
true.
You were just being.
So is that the shirt for this year?
And then on top of that,
is the theme youth group?
That's the theme. Yeah, youth group. I hate you.
That's awesome.
This shirt.
Well, go ahead. I have a comment about that in a minute.
On top of all those things, we're comparing ourselves to other people, and am I doing as good of a job as Jeremy? Am I doing as good of a job as Hunter? Am I doing a better job than Jeremy or Hunter? Am I doing?
You are.
And all of those things come into play while you are trying to do things.
Yeah. Well, and you're carrying the weight of what we talked about in the last episode of, are the numbers up or down? Even though we know that it doesn't matter, we still struggle with those kind of feelings or emotions.
Monthly, you're having to tell everybody in your group, your area-wide group me, how many kids you bring in. You don't want to be the lowest number. I mean, that's just it. You're gonna pump it up a little bit. But here's the thing:
I exceeded my number I said last night.
We got really close. I'm not sure if we did. You have to be very careful how you compare yourself to other ministers, because if you haven't listened to any of our podcasts so far, All three of us have listened, or all three of us are in the same area.
Yeah.
And we all have very different youth ministries. Yeah. From the budget, from the makeup of the church, from just the people that work at the church. There's so many different things that go into what makes us, we're going to say, the okayest when it comes to our youth ministry.
The okayest.
Because it's all different, and you have to understand that. And things that you're comparing me to, and I look at Jeremy, and so, well, Jeremy's youth budget's a lot bigger than mine is. So he's able to do a little bit more stuff than I would be able to. There's certain things that will go well with my youth group that won't go well with Jeremy's, and vice versa. And that works for every single thing. So be very careful comparing yourself to other youth ministers as well.
I want to tell just a little short side story, just real quick.
I would love that.
You talked about the time that you spent working on a T-shirt and all, and I may have told you this before. So this one guy, Nathan Beals, I'll say his full name, that jerk. Nathan was working on his doctoral thesis on the book of Exodus, and he was at Cedar Lane, and he was like spending time using one of our classrooms as an office space to like work through this doctoral, paper, and he'd come to the office, and I was working on a retreat T-shirt, getting things ready for a retreat, and I'd ask the secretaries like, "Hey, what do you think about the design? What do you which one do you like better? Whatever, the dumb questions we ask." And Nathan came through. I was like, "What do you think about this?" And he goes, "I'll tell you what, Jeremy." He said, "Dude, if you spend as much time working on the content of the lessons on this retreat as you have on this shirt, it's going to be an incredible retreat." And I was like, "Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate you. You can go back to your office now." Because he was like, "Dude, you're wasting a lot of time on this T-shirt. How's the lessons going to go?"
Then I would say,
"So you get out of here, you doctoral thesis boy."
I'd say, well,
beat it.
What was it in?
Imagine
what was he doing?
Exodus.
Okay.
He was doing.
Sorry,
you zoned out on that. It's okay. It was a boring story. I get it.
I will tell you, you should. There's some books on this topic about burnout and about taking your Sabbath. Great book, The Emotionally Healthy Leader. Mm-hmm. I've mentioned it before. Pete Scazzaro, he's very great. You should read anything that he's written. They are unbelievable. He has a podcast, The Emotionally Healthy Leader podcast.
I feel like Yaconelli wrote on this a little bit too.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep, he did. And there's also John Mark Comer just wrote a book long ago? 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Is this the elimination?
Yeah, the relentless elimination of hurry. I just finished that a couple weeks ago. It's a great book. Mm-hmm. Not all of it is very practical. He gets to live a millionaire lifestyle.
I just gave that book away, and I doubt I'll get it back. I just realized that.
It's a great book. Definitely filled with good content, and but you should be taking your Sabbath. That was the biggest thing that I got from that book. That's the biggest thing that I got from anything by Pete Scazzaro. There is a reason why God made us have a Sabbath. We were not created for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was created for us, and we are supposed to take that Sabbath and take advantage of it and use it. Okay? Take your rest. Jesus rested. God rested. We can rest too. Take that time to rest. Have a day where you just don't do anything. You stay home with your family. Help your wife out around the house. Unplug and just be for a little while. It's definitely something that you should be doing. So what about some healthy hobbies that you can have?
Yeah, you can exercise. If you are into triathlons, Decatur in July 11th, Decatur
not
hosts,
a sponsor.
No, this is definitely not. They host the Wet Dog Triathlon, and it is the shortest triathlon you could possibly do ever that's an actual event.
I honestly feel like the only thing we would actually get a sponsor out of on my Yets would be a Wet Dog Marathon. We might get that.
It's possible. But if you are interested in that, I have a link I can send you, and you can sign up for it. It'd be fantastic. If I get so many, then I get a free entry, so that'd be great.
I do.
It's like $40. So it's okay.
I do the woodwork stuff, and it's a hobby. For a time there, I was really grinding on that, trying to make that into a side income, and I found myself getting frustrated with doing what I once enjoyed as a hobby, and so I've kind of taken almost like a sabbatical from woodworking for about a year now. I haven't done very much at all, and just recently I started getting back into the hobby of it, and just making some things, doing a couple of things here and there, kind of for the fun of it. Made a birdhouse with my daughter. And it's creating a joy. It's becoming a respite or a rest thing for me instead of a thing that I'm trying to do to grind and make more money. And so, that's something, finding that hobby and letting it be. If it's golf, if it's fishing, if it's woodworking, if it's, whatever, find something that really gives you some energy emotionally because you took a moment for yourself.
And you said something that's great. Also, try not to be too competitive in that hobby or too serious when it comes to that hobby, because it takes away the fun part of the hobby that you're looking for, that relaxation part of it, and it turns it more into just, it's so competitive you don't get to have a whole lot of fun.
Did you find that happening with your bow hunting and like your stuff you were doing with that?
Yeah,
Did you find yourself getting into that?
It was way too competitive, and it wasn't something that I'd go out and like enjoy the day. It was like I'd come home mad because I didn't shoot well.
So let's talk about something very quick.
I have a lot of hobbies. Yes, my wife.
This is important. We have a friend named Sam.
Yeah, we're familiar with
Sam. He can
Great
run
guy.
pretty fast. He's
Super
very
cool
athletic.
guy.
Very athletic.
Wait, Sam Welsh or Sam
Welsh.
I'm gonna bump straight to my chest.
Sam Welsh. And we have made this. We're trying to decide if Sam was running full speed, how many yards out? 100 yards?
No,
200 yards?
It was like 20 yards.
Hold on, let me say we're about to go into this. We have deterred from the end of the episode. This is pretty much the wrap up at this.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
but we'll take a poll and see what people think. He closed his computer.
Hunter is saying that if
he's done.
20 yards. Sam
it was
running
not 20
full
yards.
speed.
It was not 20 yards.
It wasn't 100. It was,
I'm pretty sure
close.
it was like 80.
100.
We'll say 80 yards.
It was with a bow and
40,
arrow.
40.
I'll say 40.
40 yards.
Still confident with it.
120 feet.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's
No,
right.
it wasn't 100 yards,
I
because
don't
you're
think
talking
he
about
could
like
hit-
4 or 5 seconds of that arrow being in the air before it hits the target.
Yeah.
So it was something quick. It was like, I want to say it was like 35 yards is what we originally said.
Do you think that Hunter could even hit a target from 120?
Okay,
if it
so
wasn't
at any
100%.
rate, Sam's running full speed, and Hunter tries to shoot him with. How many of y'all think that would actually happen? That he would actually be able to hit a sprinting
a sideways Sam, not a wide Sam,
yeah, a
but his
sideways
side view.
sprinting Sam, and he would be able to hit him.
He's
and
pretty
not just
skinny.
hit him, 1 out of 100, but hit him every time consistently.
So you're going to post the poll on social media, and everyone's going to say 100%
We'll put it on the
Hunter's going to
website.
hit him.
We'll put it on the website.
We'll put it on the OKS. Wait,
Wow. But then the second part of that
not
is
the okayest
once
right
he
now.
gets hit with the arrow, he is saying that he can run like 120% faster than he was before.
He did say that he could step up his speed just because
The adrenaline
he
of
knows
the arrow.
the pain is coming again. If he does get hit the first time,
That's true.
He could almost double his.
unless it hit him like in the knee. And
Yeah, that would be super inconvenient.
So, anyways,
And also, if you have an idea on how we can make that work without me actually shooting Sam, send us that as well.
If anybody would like to sponsor this,
and it doesn't
experiment.
matter how much it costs. We'll cover the cost.
We can't afford our booth at M2I, but we can make this happen. Hey, speaking of booths, we are about 4 weeks out, about a month away from the Lads to Leaders convention. And we, two of us, the important part of us, will be in Nashville at the Lads to Leaders convention. One of us will be in Atlanta, and you won't see him. But two of us will be at the Lads to
We
Leaders
need to get
convention.
the cutout of them this
And
year.
manning a booth. Yeah, we'll try to have a cutout of Michael with us at Lads to Leaders. And I would love that so much.
I've got a beach picture that would be
Perfect. If you don't have a
Send it to
Hawaiian
us.
shirt on, I don't want it. Okay, so we want you to come see us. We'll be there set up on April the 3rd, 4th, maybe even on the 2nd. I'm not sure about that. So we'll have a booth there at Last Leaders. We're looking forward to seeing you. And just to mention to Lucas, a sponsored vendor booth. We didn't even have to pay for it. Someone donated a sponsorship, and we are very appreciative of that.
yeah.
So we're looking for that for other events too. If you're looking to sponsor, maybe at M2I.
Before we close out and everything, I do want to just recommend having somebody just talk therapy is going to do wonders for everything.
Yeah.
Have somebody, whether it's a good friend. Jeremy has been my talk therapist for a long time, where we just kind of talk about stuff and it kind of gets my mind off of it. Both of us, have done that with each other. I've done that with several different people. I've even gone and talked to a real true therapist that has helped me through some situations that I'm in. And those things are going to help you. Find somebody that loves you and talk to them. Okay. It's going to help you. It's going to make things better.
We have those kind of moments sometimes where, we're talking about Sam, getting shot with an arrow earlier, but Sam and I, sometimes, I'll talk to him and I'll say, hey, do we need to go golfing? And what that really means is, hey, do you need to go spend 18 holes just kind of talking about what's going on with you right now and kind of venting a little bit? And yeah, we'll play some golf, but really I found that our golf days are more or less a therapy session that, one of us needed.
And just throwing this out there, we do not want to harm Sam. We love Sam. We're just throwing that out there.
But I would love to see Hunter try to shoot him with an arrow.
I don't want him to get hurt. I
don't think Hunter can hit him, but I would love to see him try.
Yeah. Make sure that you're following us on social media, Instagram and Facebook. We're trying to do a little bit more with that. The problem is that I'm the person in charge of those, and I hate social media.
The main thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we get the poll out there about the arrows. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk to Sam and see what the actual numbers were, because I'm sure he knows.
I guarantee you we've sent a group message.
Anyways, thanks for everything you're doing. We truly appreciate the work that you're putting in.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. That means that you're taking this stuff seriously. If you're actually looking up ways that you can make your ministry better by listening to podcasts or reading books or whatever it is that you're doing, I just want to say, whether you're stressed out or burnt out or whatever, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And just know that no matter what it is that you're doing, doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, if you're doing it for God, it's never done in vain.
That's right.
Thanks for everything you're doing, and we hope your ministry is blessed.
Is blessed.
Is blessed. Is blessed.
Thanks for joining us today in the important conversation of youth ministry. Go and follow us on Instagram and check out oksyouthministry.com for more information about our upcoming episodes. We'll be dropping a new episode every Wednesday morning, and we look forward to talking with you again next week. And hey, it's okay to be the OKS youth minister around, but let's all strive to be just a little bit better.